Hey y'all, welcome back. Promise to container series. So here we go. So the first one that we have is a pretty tall container, not particularly wide. It's about 15-inch opening at the top. The container itself, though, is 36 inches tall. I wanted the height down here just to bring everything up. I've got some really cool plants to go in it as well. It is not completely full of dirt. Oh my gosh, that would be so heavy. We would not be able to move it. So it's about halfway full of dirt. It is actually meant to be a self-watering container. I've chosen not to use it as a self-watering just because that's a lot of water reservoir. I don't need that. So I have chosen to make it a drainage container. I have no problem watering these. So I've also filled it about maybe a quarter of the way full of compost so that if the roots make it down to the bottom of the container, which they most likely won't in a growing season, but just in case they've got that nutrients there, and I wanted to fill out the pot just a little bit. So the second one that I have is this one. I love this container. We did not mean for those to match, but we actually found it at Home Depot the other day, and I absolutely love that they match. This one is about 20 inches tall and about 11 inches across. So I do have a lot that I want to get in this container. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. We'll see when we get there, but we're going to try. So let's take a look at the plants that we've got going in. All right, so here's what we've got. Lots of different plants that we're going to put in these containers. So we're going to start with fertilizer. For my annuals, I have Proven Winners time release fertilizer that I'll be using in the container. For my perennials, I'm going to use just a little bit of biotone in the bottom of the hole. The first container is the smaller one. For this one, I love this. I love this tree. This is called Tater Tot. Not only is it my favorite plant, but it's my favorite food. So you can't get better than your favorite plant it's named after your favorite food. So this doesn't get incredibly large. This is I think 2 foot, 1.5 or 1 to 2 feet tall and wide. So it stays in a beautiful ball formation, which I absolutely love. And in this container, with the container being square, this is going to contrast really nicely to that. So I really love what this is going to do. This is an evergreen, of course. It is an arborvitae. Um, it is sun or part shade. So you can use this in a lot of different areas of your garden as well. It will come back. It will not stay in this container all year. I'll take it out at the end of the season and I'll probably pop it out in the yard somewhere. So with that, I am planning to use 2 different varieties of Proven Winners annuals. The first one that I have here is the Supertunia Bordeaux. Beautiful, beautiful purple color, which will fill in and match what we have on the other side of the driveway, which is the lavender and sage. I'm hoping that we can get this in there. This is a huge grower, so it will actually trail down probably to the ground in this container. I also have another Proven Winner here. This is the Superbena Cobalt. I love the purple color. I wish you could see it. That's the only bloom that I was able to get. They only had one left at Lowe's, so I wasn't able to get a prime example. But you can see there the purple color and what that's going to do. This will trail as well down the side of the container. I do plan to put 2 of these in eventually once I can find a second one. So we'll put that in the back. For now, this will go in the front. Now for our taller container, I have a few different varieties of plants here. This one, the first one, is going to be our thriller in the center. This again will not stay in the container all year. This will just be for the summer. I'll take it out in the fall and actually plant it out in the yard. This is another Proven Winner called Bobo. I don't know how Proven Winners comes up with their names, but Bobo for a hydrangea is amazing. This actually has beautiful, beautiful white foliage, or white blooms rather. At the start of the season and toward the end of the season, they turn pink, which should be really nice with our pinballs here. Let me get you some stats. 2.5 to 3 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. So in the garden, it's going to really bush out and be beautiful. I expect this will gain some size over the season, but not an incredible amount, especially being in the container, which is totally fine. I don't want it to get that big. It already has blooms forming, so there are buds all over this, straight from the garden center. This as well, the blooms can be dried and we can use those in our fall and winter arrangements as well. With that, I have for each corner the Gomphrena. I love this plant. It's so unusual with its spherical blooms. This actually gets 16 to 20 inches high, so it will get pretty large in our container, and then 8 to 10 inches wide. I don't expect it'll get that wide, and I will actually come out and prune it down a little bit throughout the season because I don't want it to get that large. So we'll take care of that as we go. I love the shape of these blooms. They're really, really, really pretty blooms, and they dry beautifully. When you cut these, they pretty much keep almost the same color as when they're fresh. So love these flowers. I think these will go really well with our ball shape here, and this will tie into the tater tot that we have with the spherical shape. So we've got a sphere on the bottom and a sphere on the top. So a little bit of a whimsical there. With that as well, I do plan to use a couple of little fillers. I've got just a simple little snapdragon here. Again, I love the color combination together. A little bit of similar color palette, but a little different as well. I love the yellow that it has in the flower there, and that should go beautifully together. Also, I've got a spiller, which is our silver dichondra, or silver falls rather, silver falls dichondra. Again, same as we've placed in the container across the way, and this will spill over, and this will grow all the way to the ground if we let it, which I do plan to let it grow all the way down. Only gets about 2 inches tall at the maximum, so it will spill over without giving us any volume in the top. So those are our plants. Let's get them in. All right, so let's get to planting. Let me show you a little bit about what I've done on filling the container. So I told you I did the compost in the bottom. I've actually taken my limelight out of its container and used the container to make a well for it to go in a little bit later. And then I'm going to fill in. I filled in with the soil that we're using here. I'm actually going to also do some Proven Winners time release fertilizer. I'm not going to use a whole lot because we're also going to use a little biotone in the bottom for one of those as well. But just a little sprinkling and mix that in real good as well. Now these are going to get fertilizer throughout the season as well. Now this is time released, so it's going to feed for several months. We'll come in and do a weekly fertilizer as well. I have a water soluble from Proven Winners as well. I was not able to find that fertilizer here locally. I did have to order it, which you can do as well. You can get it through either Proven Winners or just like anything else, you can get it through Amazon. So let's get planting. All right, so we're going to do our Gompphrenas in the corners. I'm going to do the snapdragons and dichondras in the front. I have a little bit less space to plant there, so those small 6-packs will fit in really beautifully there. Like I said, these are going to get large, but I'm going to keep them pruned back a little bit and encourage them to grow side to side rather than up. So let's get them in the ground. I know it looks like I'm just shoving these down in there, but I want you to come in real close and see what I'm doing here. So I'm actually taking the soil and I'm pushing it up against the sides so that it's not actually directly, the root ball's not directly against the side of the container. There is a little bit of soil there as well. Always, always, always make sure that there's no air around your root ball. That will kill your plant quicker than anything. So make sure that they're really, really tucked in there nice and tight. All right, that's our Gomphrena. Let's get the others in. All right, so we've got all of our perimeter plants planted. Now we're going to pop the middle out, and we have a beautiful well. You can see here, we have a beautiful well to place our hydrangea in. Oh, a little biotone. Sorry, I almost forgot. Little biotone for this one. Just a tiny amount in the bottom of the hole. To have a little bit of food. It's going to have the fertilizer from the other plants as well, but I do want to give it a good start. And there we go. Easy enough. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. This is going to look so good with the gomphrena coming out, with the dichondra spilling over the sides. Really excited about that. I'll pop the tag off later. This is going to look really, really good. Look how full this is already, and it's just going to spill over. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait. All right, let's get the little one planted. All right, so here we go. We've got our centerpiece. It is a little bit root bound, so I'm going to just rough that up a little bit. I'm not going to do a huge amount because it's not terrible. Just want to rough that up and break it up a little bit. And then we go. And there we go. I think I'm going to really like that. Oh my goodness. I think these are going to spill out nicely. These are going to spill out nicely as well. Now the good thing about these proven winners petunias, supertunias, is that you can cut them. You can cut them. They're going to be just fine. They'll fill back in a little less than 2 weeks. They grow that quickly. So they're going to be, I think, just fine in this. Again, if they don't work once they start bulking out, I'll pop them out and we'll be just fine. But I mean, my goodness, look at this. This whole arrangement looks so good. I'm really impressed with this. I can't wait to see where they go. Biggest thing about gardening that I love is watching how everything transforms. In the spring right now, they're going to look like this. In a few more weeks, they're going to look completely different. A few more weeks after that, they're going to look even different still. So that's been our first of our container series. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you're new here, please give us a subscribe. We have lots more coming. I've got many, 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 many more containers coming in the springtime. But for now, thanks for joining us today. Have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.